Yeah. All right. Good evening. Ooh, you looked up like my voice was booming. Good evening. Welcome to our meeting. A little recap of what we've already done this afternoon and evening. We called our meeting to order at 3 o'clock. We had no community or staff participation. We had no workshop, but what we did do is we went into closed session, and we had an extraordinarily good meeting with our search firm that is helping us find our new superintendent. And so we will be having interview process later this week, and so stay tuned. But we've been working very diligently on that, and we've had some great help from Leadership Associates. We also had some conversation about conference negotiator, labor negotiations, public employee, and matters pertaining to students, but no action was taken within closed session. We are now coming into open session at 6:30, and of course, one of my most favorite things to do at the beginning of our meeting is to have our Pledge of Allegiance. And I have Xavier Ravas, and his sister Sophia are going to help lead us into the pledge.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Put your right hand over your heart.
Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Excellent job. Thank you very much. Two of my favorite songs. Great job. We are going to now move into the board president's report. That'd be my report. And so this report came about because, as I do many times, I had the ability to be on campus for one of our campus at the high school for one of our many activities. And I just thought, I know how important it is that our students are connected and they have their extracurricular activities. And there is data that shows that the more connected a student is through an activity at their school, the better opportunity they have to be successful and to learn. And in fact, we had, I forget exactly what data it was, Dr. Kropp, but it said if a student has 1.2 or 1.3 activities, which I'm not sure how you have the 0.3, but that means that student has a better opportunity to have a higher GPA. And so I asked that our schools send in some information, because I know we get these great reports, but I wanted to really say, what do we really give our students an opportunity to connect? How do we do that? And so that is a really important goal of this board, is to make sure that our students are connected, not only through academics, but activities, athletics, arts. And also another thing that I've really noticed on our campuses is that our students are also really connected by giving. And that really has become something that's so important. If we could figure out what that A is, we'll add it, I promise. So at the high school, there are many, many different performing arts groups, athletic groups, CTE programs, and 112 active clubs. And Mrs. Spiratos, thank you very much, was kind enough to send us a list of all of them. And we can see that there's many different academic, and this is not easy for me to say today, very many academic clubs, but there's also a variety of different kinds of clubs as well. And a couple of them that I just looked through and really caught my eye were things like the Autism Youth Ambassadors and the Aviation Club, Classical Music Appreciation Club. I love classical music. I thought there was one that I thought was really very fun, Habitat to Humanity, hiking. And then there was one called Netflix and Nuggets. I'm not exactly sure what that one was, but I thought that was wonderful. And then one of the last ones that I wanted to point out from the high school was also Random Acts of Kindness Club. We need a little bit more of those kind of clubs in our life. And then the middle school, there is absolutely no shortage of ways that students can get connected. And so I believe, do I have a lot of fifth graders that are sitting in the front row? Yes. And so you're going to have a great opportunity when you get to middle school to help you find something that you're really going to be able to connect with as well. And so there's lunchtime activities, over 30 different clubs, intramural sports. And as you can see, anytime we put a picture up here with our students and they're involved in something, there seems to always be a smile on their face. And then, of course, at elementary schools as well. And so I have seen these different ways that children can connect just continue to blossom. And we really have to thank our students for obviously participating, but also staff and teachers and parents for really understanding how important it is and taking that extra time to actually make sure that there are a lot of different opportunities for our students. And we do have, I think it's very exciting that we have foreign language classes that are being offered through LAIF now at our schools as well. Happy children. This is, if you've never been, the one thing I'll say, if you've never been to the football game, this last photo down here, my thing's not working. The last photo down here, where we bring our students from elementary school all the way through the high school, and there's probably over 600 or 700 students actually on the field during this game. It really shows how important that connection is. So thank you for letting me talk to you about the different ways to get connected through our district. Now we will move on, and we will move on to our student board report. Speaking of connecting, yes, you may have the clicker.
Get more than one clicker.
Good evening, President Hill, esteemed board members, Dr. Kropp, Cabinet, Community, and LAE Tigers. My name is Angelica Montez, and tonight I would like to share with you how Los Alamitos High School is doing through our 4As. Athletics at Los Alamitos High School. Our Lady Griffins soccer team are having an amazing season this year. Girls varsity soccer is not only part of the CIF finalists, but tonight they are at the state playoffs, and I just checked, and they are 1-0 Griffins, obviously.
Woohoo!
With about 18 minutes left, in which they'll probably win. So, you know, not good luck, good job. Academics at Los Alamitos High School. Last week was the long-awaited and much-needed ski break, and on behalf of the entire Los Alamitos student body, I would like to say thank you so much for the week of calm before the storm of APs and finals are coming. Yes, you heard me right. Finals and APs are coming up, and I'm sure Griffin's are already studying, getting ready. They're going to be amazing. Show you how smart we are. Don't worry. Arts at Los Alamitos High School. Our drama department brings another hit to the stage with Bye Bye Birdie on March 7th, 8th, and 9th. So don't miss what I'm sure will be an amazing show. Also, the choir department did their annual and very loved, as you can see by the second picture, So thank you to the Los Alamitos Arts Departments for making Los Alamitos High School a very exciting place. Activities at Los Alamitos High School. Models United Nation, or MUN, held their annual GriffMun, in which they hosted a conference and gave out awards to top delegates. So good job to MUN. Also, March 5th at 6:30, Students Against Violence Everywhere, or SAVE, is holding a discussion on gun violence with Route 91 survivors. They would really appreciate people to come join them and talk about such an important issue. I personally am very proud of the students for taking initiative to take care of their school and make sure that all their students are safe. So please go support them. Also, there's going to be an all-district band and orchestra festival happening March 2nd and will include all age ranges from elementary school to high school Griffins. So come by and watch the celebration of music at all ages. Thank you, and go Griffins.
Thank you, Angie. And I know that I had the opportunity to go by the MUN, and it was amazing. And I believe that Mrs. Davidson's going to talk about that a little bit later. So always a lot happening on that campus, that's for sure. Our next is the superintendent's report, and I think we're going to go ahead. And what would you like to do about that, Dr. Kropp?
So, Madam President, I would like to move that to after E, before F.
Sounds wonderful.
Thank you.
We'll make sure that we do that.
Do we need a motion?
To move a report? I don't think we need a motion to move a report. But that does mean that, Mr. Willems, you're up next. So we're very excited to have our Los Alamitos Elementary School report this evening, and we look forward to hearing what's going on with the Tigers.
All right. Well, good evening, Madam President, esteemed members of the board, executive cabinet, and our community members and LAE Tigers. Thank you all for showing up tonight. And before we get going, I just want to point out that Angelica, the student board reporter, is a former Tiger. And her sister, who's here somewhere, is currently in 5th grade. Where's Violet? There she is. So there's your future board reporter. Tonight I couldn't be happier as we get to celebrate LAE. Highly biased, but in my opinion, one of the greatest schools around. We're going to take you through an adventure that we've had all year, and we are going to start off with 2 amazing Tigers giving speeches about events this year. The first speaker is Caitlin Scogan, and she'll be talking about some of the events we've had so far this year and some of the events that we have coming up. Our second speaker will be Brandon Velasic, and he will be giving his reflection of his time spent at LAE.
my name is Kaylin Scoggin, and I'm a 5th grader at LAE. My amazing teacher is Mrs. Janoyan. At our school, we do a lot of fun events to help raise money. One of the events we do is LAE's Fit-a-thon. Fit-a-thon is a great way to tire the students out and encourage people to donate money and exercise. Another great event, which is one of my favorites, is Camp LAE. Camp LAE is where you bring tents and sleep on the big grass field at our school. My favorite part about the one this year is the DJ Larson Glow Party and Scavenger Hunt. Also, at the November 9th Assembly, we honored our veterans a few days early. We had all of the veterans from the families at LAE stand up at the assembly, and they went to their child's classroom and allowed the kids to ask some questions about their time in the military. And this is my overall favorite part of the year, was the LAE School Talent Show. I loved the talent show because I was lucky enough to be the MC and have an act. I absolutely loved it because it was so fun and well organized thanks to Miss St. Dennis. Thank you, and I hope you enjoyed my speech.
Good evening, Madam President and esteemed members of the board. My name is Brandon Vlasic, and on behalf of the 5th grade class, I would like to share my personal experience as an LAE Tiger. As a kindergartner, Mrs. Cobb showed me around the campus and taught us the basics in reading and math. In 1st grade, Mrs. Walters, our teacher of the year, was super friendly and taught us in a very loving way. Then in 2nd grade, in Mrs. Fuller's class, I met one of my best friends as we learned how to work in groups. 3rd grade was an absolute blast. Mr. Ordonez, or Mr. O, was our teacher this year. I looked up to Mr. O because we shared a lot of the same interests. He was awesome with technology and loved math, just like myself. In 4th grade, Mrs. Bottrell prepared us well for our state tests, and it was great to have her along with us on our field trips. Now in 5th grade, Mrs. Shevsky is teaching us responsibility and preparing us well for middle school by keeping us focused, expanding our vocabulary, pushing us to our limits, and making sure we don't procrastinate. I'm pretty sure the highlight of 5th grade will be when we go to OSS, or Outdoor Science School, in April. Mr. Willems asked me what my favorite memory was. I don't have one. The thing that changed me is not one specific memory, but rather the entire experience. Thank you for listening.
Very nicely done, both of you. And I did ask Brandon for his favorite experience, and he just got a big smile. And Caitlin was amazing in our talent show. She was a hippie, so far out, man, far out. You'll notice in the picture that's up there right now, it says near South Figueroa Street. That's because this is Mateus. He is in our RAP 1-2 classroom, and he was featured on the KTLA 5 News because it was the first time he ever rode the bus on the first day of school. District priority number 1, passionately pursue academic excellence for all students. LAE is the place to succeed. This year's theme at LAE is building self-efficacy in students. By using the district's signature practices of depth and complexity, CGI, and thinking maps, we are unlocking the potential of all of our Tigers. What I found last year is that we used the district's signature practices to move us forward academically, but there was something missing. That missing piece is self-efficacy. The belief that you can, if you try hard enough, succeed at any task. To help build self-efficacy, LAE started a mentor program this year. Our 5th graders mentor our kindergartners. Our 4th graders mentor our 2nd graders, and our 3rd graders mentor our 2nd graders. Sorry, I said 2nd grade 2 times. The importance of the mentorship program lies in showing our students that they are looked up to and admired by their younger Tigers. It makes it so that our older Tigers want to do well for the younger Tigers and show them the proper way to succeed. Our younger Tigers see this, and as they get to be older Tigers, they will remember their mentors and want to try harder to succeed and to try harder to impress the kids that they are mentoring. With self-efficacy and this mentorship program, we will move LAE forward, not just this year, but in future years as well. We are building future mathematicians at LAE. Math is everywhere in the world, and math should be everywhere at LAE as well. LAE, by integrating math into our makerspace and PE subject areas, are giving our students 3 different attempts to look at mathematics during the school day. If you look in the upper left-hand corner, you can see a circle made out of hula hoops. That originally was done in makerspace with smaller hoops, tested in makerspace, built in PE, and then they had to see whose design would hold up to dodgeballs the best. Fun with math is definitely happening at LAE. In the last picture on the right, you can see students doing math on our cabinets. Don't worry, they're not writing directly on the cabinets. We put whiteboards over the cabinets so that our students could turn cabinets from holding in supplies to truly learning walls. So here you can see a student doing a complex 4th grade math problem on the wall, and that will be left up there so that students struggling with a similar problem can use that as an example to move themselves forward. In ELA, LAE continues to make strides. That wasn't supposed to be a joke. Thanks to the Board of Education, LAE received a 49% intervention teacher this year. This has allowed us to use our head intervention teacher to push into classrooms to help teachers get better at creating small groups, using reading maps, and increasing small group instruction. This position also allowed us to start a 4th grade EL intervention during the school day. Our EL students now receive intervention both before, or have an opportunity for intervention before school, during school, and after school. This will help them to achieve proficiency. Building self-efficacy in children starts with teaching students that it's okay to try something and fail. The key to building self-efficacy is to teach students perseverance, to teach students to not give up, to build it again and again until you finally succeed. Makerspace builds perseverance, perseverance builds self-efficacy. This year we have an amazing Makerspace teacher that is certified in Google, Apple, and Microsoft. She has been able to take her technology experience along with aligning Makerspace with the NGSS standards and take our Makerspace to new heights. In the pictures, what you can see are students working on the life cycle of a plant, their current science standards that they're working on in class. You can also see in the picture on the left that they are filming it with an iPad. They are actually making an animated short film, which they will play at the end of the Makerspace period for their peers. By making the film and sharing it with their peers, they're more likely to retain the information they learned during Makerspace. The arts are alive in all of Los Al, and LAE is no different. Here you can see on the left our choir, which you heard earlier. You guys did an amazing job. Performing at Winter Wonderland. You can also see our kindergartners in their first ever performance with their traditional holiday outing. But at LAE, the arts are more than just about the choir. We had our 2nd annual art night where over 150 community members came out and did art at 6 different stations. They got to take that art home, and it was completely free thanks to our amazing PTA. We also had 49 Tigers who participated in the PTA Reflections Contest, Heroes Around Us, that will be highlighted tomorrow at McAuliffe. We also partner with Pacific Symphony and expose our students to the orchestra. By the time our students leave LAE, they have been exposed to 6 different orchestra instruments and seen the Pacific Symphony live on 4 different occasions. To me, the most important thing at LAE was a learned experience. It was something that somebody told me when I first started, which is to decrease negative behavior, you have to increase positive behavior. At LAE, we've always highlighted our students every month with teacher awards and with principal awards. However, this year we added kindness awards and A for the day. Kindness awards are for when support staff, administrators, or teachers see students doing something amazing before school, during recess, during lunch, or after school. It is a complete surprise to the students, and they are called up randomly during a flag ceremony. I say complete surprise with a little bit of quotation marks because most of the time the students figure it out when their mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, baby sister all happen to drive them to school randomly on a Friday and then say, oh, we have to talk to your teacher, and they stay for the flag ceremony. They catch on pretty quickly at LAE. The Kindness Awards are a great way to celebrate our students when they get caught doing something nice that they are not expecting. Also, we have A for the Day. This is an idea we got from McGaw Elementary School, which highlights one of our Tigers each day in the areas of academics, attitude, acceptance, ambition, or accountability. This is a great way to, once again, reward our Tigers that are doing a great job and decrease negative behaviors by highlighting positive behaviors. We also continued Spirit Sticks. Spirit Sticks we started last year, and we continued this year. Spirit Sticks are great at recognizing our Tigers because we have many Spirit Sticks that you cannot buy. You have to earn them. My principal's proud of me. My assistant principal's proud of me. My second assistant principal this year is proud of me. And all around, my teacher's proud of me. All around, just a great way to give students something fun and also reward their behavior. But it also brought in $5,000 this year, which completely funded our student government program. The graphs that you can see above you are comparing the SBAC results in 2016 and 17 to the results of 2017 and 2018. To me, academics are important, but LAE also brings something called diversity to the table. So besides just strong academics, in 2017-2018, Niche.com rated LAE in the top 6% of the most diverse schools in California. In 2018-2019, they rated us again in the top 14% of the most diverse schools. We expose our Tigers to all different ethnicities and people from all around the world. As well, our regional autism program students join our students for Makerspace, Media Center, and music. Students are exposed to many things at LAE that they wouldn't otherwise be, which helps us academically. In the chart, you can see that in third grade, in ELA, they gained 7 points. In math, they gained 8 points last year. So the difference in 1 year is that third grade increased on the SBAC by 15 points. In fourth grade, we increased in both ELA and math by 1 point. If you looked at our fourth grade results and dug deep into them, you can see that a lot of our students that scored a 2 or non-proficient on the state exam missed being a 3 by 2 or 3 questions. This year, our fourth grade teachers have taken many steps in order to push those kids over, to teach them the self-efficacy that is our motto this year, and to get them to achieve so that they get into that proficient range. In our fifth grade results, you can see that in ELA, we stayed the same, but in math, we had the biggest jump out of any of our 3 grade levels that are tested. In math, our team got scores that increased by 15 points. I was going to say it again, but you already clapped, so I figured that you got that one. In third, fourth, and fifth grade at LAE last year, we did not decline in a single academic area, and in fact, our total gain was 32 points. To put that in perspective, according to Niche.com, 2 years ago, we were in the top 3.7% of all public elementary schools in the state of California. We are now in the top 2.1%. That's all because of our hardworking teachers. If you're a teacher, will you raise your hand? Can we give them a round of applause? For district priority number 2, ensure a healthy, safe, and drug-free environment, we started a new program this year called Check 6, which is a military term for watch your backside. The Check 6 Safety Program is a group of parent volunteers who give up 1 day a year to patrol LAE during the school day. They walk the perimeter and make sure that everybody on campus has a badge and should be on campus. They're trained to make sure that if there is an emergency, they can help our students. And they're there to help parents or students that may be lost or get injured throughout the day. Originally, we had 150 LAE community members sign up to take a day out of their busy schedule and away from their jobs to participate in the Check 6 Safety Program. Our goal for next year is to have a parent a day to help monitor our campus and to help our students stay safe. We also started the year with Red Ribbon Week. We highlighted Red Ribbon Week to make sure that our kids are drug-free. We had Crazy Hair Day, Pajama Day, Twin Day, and Jersey Day, all to team up in the fight against drugs. We also had one of my highlights, which is our annual Veterans Day Assembly. We were joined by over 50 veterans and their families for an absolutely amazing day. It is something small, but it is a great way to say to our veterans, thank you for all that you've done for our country. Of course, my highlight, as always, was being able to introduce my dad and stand with my dad, who was a veteran of the Vietnam War. Last year, we had the Ambassadors Program at LAE, and they did a great job. The problem with the Ambassadors Program is that it was expensive, and we only had 14 student members. This year, we have a student government program ran by 3 teachers, which is a third of the cost, and proudly I can say has over 60 student members. Highlights of the student government include running Red Ribbon Week, running Peace Week. They raised funds for the Malibu fire victims, and most recently, they raised over 2,000 cans of food for Casa Youth Shelter, a local organization. I just love the middle picture. We started breakfast at LAE this year, and it's been a huge success. We are now offering a nutritious meal so that students can be fully ready to learn during their academic day. We also expanded it later on during the year to adding breakfast at recess as well for students who took the bus or were not able to get to school early enough to enjoy the breakfast. I've heard from many parents and families that their students love eating at LAE. They like not having to get their students to eat at home so they can get them to LAE sooner. And having this program has been a huge impact on LAE, and I thank you, the board, for that. District priority number 3, enhance communication processes to engage, inform, and educate all stakeholders. Communication is key to promoting and creating the culture of LAE. My goal this year was to increase the percentage of people who read the newspaper, and proudly I can say that we have an 8% increase compared to last year of those of you who thank you for clicking and reading the newsletter. I do appreciate it. We've also increased the amount of people that we have volunteering on our campus. All in all, by increasing communication, by bringing our parents in, we set records this year for attendance at Camp LAE, Fit-a-thon, Movie Night, and Art Night. And of course, these are going to be records because they weren't at LAE last year. We had our first ever trunk or treat, and next week we have our first March Math Madness, which I'll describe here in a minute. We held our first trunk or treat, and we weren't sure how successful it would be. Even people that weren't able to attend our trunk or treat donated candy, so it was a completely free event. We had 4 food trucks, free candy, hundreds of kids in costumes, a car decorating contest, and a costume contest, which luckily I didn't have to judge because there were a lot of cool costumes. It was such a success that we will be continuing this in the future at LAE. Camp LAE did set a record this year with 700 people attending. That's 700 people sleeping on our field on a cold, damp night. And as Caitlin said, the highlight was, as you can see on the far right, our laser fog machine dance party with DJ Larson. We love you, DJ. We also held our community art night, which I talked about a little bit earlier. This was in its 2nd year and ran by Michelle Patterson, who does an amazing job, once again highlighting the arts at LAE. We had a movie night at the end of November, which obviously does not stop our Tigers, because as cold as it was and as rainy as it was in the day before, we had hundreds of people show up to see Hotel Transylvania 3, and of course to get the popcorn made by Jimmy that they all love. With kindergarten events, it's really hard for me to tell who has more fun, the parents or the students. In this case, I think they had equal amounts of fun learning about Thanksgiving and the traditions that go along with it. A great way to bring the community into LAE. We also had walk and ride to school day. A large percentage of LAE students do walk and ride to school every day. We were joined by different district office personnel and community members and really got to highlight how our students can stay safe on their way to and from LAE each day. We also had our LAE talent show. If you have never been to an LAE talent show, you are missing out. This is an absolutely amazing night put on by Kelly St. Dennis, who I saw. And the entire St. Dennis family. The kids walk in on red carpets. It truly is out of this world and symbolizes why our kids do such an amazing job at the high school level. On the picture on the right, you see over 20 teachers dancing to the ages. They had 4 different songs, one from the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s, maybe 5, that they danced to, once again highlighting that we just have amazing teachers at LAE. And for priority 4, effectively maximizing resources, we had our Fit-a-thon and reading challenge. You can see the small little drop. That's Rick being nice. I'm the larger one, dumping it all over Deb Cobb. So this is our largest fundraiser of the year and brought in just under $60,000 that will go directly to helping our students. We had a slime challenge to celebrate setting a new record and going way over our goal. And we have such amazing teachers that Deb Cobb decided to get slimed as well. And well, Mr. Larson and I went home and took showers. Deb taught like that until recess before she went home. I didn't realize that. The Fit-a-thon is great because it raises a lot of money to help our students move forward. But to me, the real highlight is that we're teaching our Tigers about a healthy lifestyle that will benefit them later in life. Last year, we started the Karen Rector Innovation Grants. And last year, they purchased $12,000 worth, or donated $12,000 towards innovation grants. This goes from everything for Lego robotics to flexible seating to stand-up whiteboards and to laptop desks. This year, FLAY has pledged another $5,000, bringing the total in 2 years to $17,000 they have donated to the teachers. And so that you know, these innovation grants are ideas teachers have to move their students forward that they couldn't otherwise fund. So they come up with the innovative ideas. They justify to FLAY why they think this will be able to move their students forward. And luckily, because of things like Fit-a-thon, FLAY is able to offer them opportunities that our students wouldn't otherwise have. Last year, we started our Gently Loved book drive. We figured a lot of parents have books that their students are no longer reading. We asked them to donate as part of Reading Challenge those books to LAE and to make our library updated and better. And we got over 3,000 books last year donated. This year we will be running this again, and we hope to continue this to improve our media center and the reading opportunities for all of our Tigers. If you're interested, Thursday is our first ever Math March Madness. This is a collaborative effort with Los Al High School teachers, our district Math TOSA, and LAE. We are going to have fun playing math games. Whether you are in kindergarten or whether you are in 5th grade, you can come and learn fun games to play with your parents or your parents to play with you that teach you math. And I can see from Paige shaking her head, right? Sometimes getting students to do math is not fun. The whole point of this is so that we can teach our parents how to have fun playing math with their students while giving their students the opportunity to learn the math concepts they need to be successful in each grade level. District priority number 5, maintain modern facilities. I just love the picture on the left. This is about a week and a half to 2 weeks before the playground was opened up. I did not stage this, believe it or not. I just happened to walk by and I'm like, what are you guys doing? They're like, when does it open? I was like, I don't know, but let me get a picture. So thank you to the Board of Education. The students described this new playground as life-altering. I'm serious, and it really is for them. And in addition, we slurried the north end of our campus. This added another big ball court. This added another 4-square court and a 9-square court, giving our students opportunities to play and learn different skills. So I thank you for that very much. At LAE, we are not just building future Griffins, we are also building future superintendents. On the left, you see Dr. Kropp with one of our students who, on Dress as Your Future Profession Day, dressed as the future superintendent of Los Al.
That's great.
Dr. Kropp was so impressed, she surprised the student by coming to LAE and gave Los Al's future superintendent her very own business cards and a pad of paper. We are an amazing school. We are building future leaders and people that will change the world. I am lucky enough to be the principal of an amazing place. LAE is the place to be, and we are all future Griffins. Thank you.
Does the board have any questions? Yes.
Mr. Willems, I would like to thank you and your entire staff and the entire LAE community for being so flexible and understanding this year with how we've kind of had to support all of our elementary schools with personnel changes. We have a great teacher stepping up to be the assistant principal there. Someone's going to be a long-term sub will be taking her class, and I appreciate the flexibility and the enthusiasm that you guys can go. You just go right ahead and you keep doing fabulous things for kids and don't even miss a step. And I know that it does throw a kink into the wheel, and I appreciate you guys just going with it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes,
very
Mrs.
much.
Russell.
I just wanted to mention that I was so impressed, and Mrs. Gatuli and I both were there for your speech contest, and how impressed we both were, and the community members that helped to be judges as well. And that was a very exciting event as well. So you can be proud of your school for many reasons. That's another one.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much.
Anybody else? Any other comments? Extraordinary job. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
Just in. Girls soccer won 2-0. First round of state playoffs. So thank you for letting me make that special announcement. And I believe Mr. Williams, Willems. My mouth is having a tough time today.
It's okay. So is mine.
So I believe that you have a presentation to make.
I do. Thank you very much. It is my pleasure and my honor to introduce our 2018-2019 Hero of the Heart, Jen Arvizu. Jen is an absolutely wonderful person, and it is my honor to be able to recognize her as LA's 2018 and 2019 Hero of the Heart. I have started speeches by referring to parents as FUBR, because you really are the free Uber. You pick your students up, and you take them to wherever they want to go. Parents do this because they want their children to have as many experiences as possible and to thrive now as well as later in life. I tried to think of a cool acronym like FUBR to describe Jennifer, but I couldn't. She embodies everything I just said. She is like having a free full-time employee. Seriously, it's not a lie. Jennifer gives not only her child, but every child at LAE as many experiences and memories as possible. She wants her child to succeed in life, but also wants all of the children at LAE to succeed in life. She is at LAE 5 days a week, often for all day. She volunteers before school, during school, and after school. She has served many different roles on PTA, and this year was in charge of running events like Camp LAE, Carnival, our first ever trunk or treat, and movie night. Under her leadership as PTA president last year, she raised over $74,000 that goes directly back to our LAE students, increasing the educational opportunities for all of our Tigers. Since she was over her 2 years as PTA president, our children now have beautiful lunch tables. They access to field trips, 3D printers, and Lego We-Dos. We couldn't have done this without your tireless efforts, and we thank you. Jennifer hasn't just helped the students, teachers, and parents of LAE. She's also helped me. When I took over as principal at LAE, I wanted to build our community and bring the LAE families together. I couldn't have done this without Jennifer. She has been instrumental in helping me understand LAE, our PTA, and getting ideas on how to bring the LAE community together. I truly feel LAE has the best school community in the world, in part because of the dedication of Jennifer. I can't say enough positive things about Jennifer, and I can't thank her enough for all of her time, energy, and dedication to helping all of our students receive an all-around incredible educational experience. Jennifer is so helpful that I considered trying to retain her son, Cole, because he's in 5th grade and I didn't want to lose her. I really did. Unfortunately, that failed, and as sad as I am to see Jennifer go, McAuliffe is getting an absolutely amazing person and an amazing family. Jennifer is being presented with a certificate from Los Alamitos Unified School District for Hero of the Heart Award for extraordinary dedication and exceptional service to the students of the Los Alamitos Unified School District.
Thank you.
And she will always be famous, and we will never forget her. She is now on our Hero of the Heart plaque. Once again, congratulations, our 2018-2019 Hero of the Heart. Jimmy, family?
Family. Yeah.
She does not like public speaking, by the way.
Oh. Am I supposed to speak now?
Introduce
Okay.
them.
Thank you so much for this honor. Like he said, I'm not big on public speaking. So our family's been at LAE for 13 years. Our older son, Chaz, started kindergarten in 2005, and our son started TK in 2012. I started out volunteering in the classrooms because I wanted to be connected with our sons at school and build relationships with the teachers, which LA has the most amazing teachers. I know that we use amazing so much, but they really are amazing. We're so lucky to have our wonderful and caring teachers at LAE. I know they've made a difference in my boys' lives. But as you continue to volunteer, you start to make connections with other volunteers who become your friends, and then you ultimately get involved with either the PTA group or the FLA group, which that's what happened to me. I went to a PTA meeting and I ended up there. And I've been there for a while. So there are so many dedicated moms, dads, grandparents, and family members that give so much of their time and energy, that do incredible things at LAE. Thank you to my husband, who I could always depend on, painting the campsite lines for Camp LAE, or running all over town trying to find nachos and cheese because we ran out at Carnival. So thank you for always supporting me. And last but not least, I have to say thank you to my favorite people that are always right there planning events with us together. And that's what's really so fun about volunteering, is you get to do all this fun stuff with people that are really fun. So I love you guys, and you will always be forever in my heart. Thank you.
Jennifer, thank you so much for all that you've done, and please make sure that you stay through recess and that your family does as well, because we'd love to get some photos. So we're going to move on, and I believe this is where we moved C to after E for Dr. Kropp.
You want to come join me?
Certainly.
So good evening, everyone. Madam President, esteemed members of the board, and everyone here today. LAE is in the house. Let's hear it. That was, it's really been amazing. And something really special is going to happen here in a few minutes. And as a district, we get to recognize just one Teacher of the Year. And so I'm already wanting to start crying. I'm going to be a wreck, but maybe not. So before we really talk about that, I found a video that really is a way to highlight just the power of teaching and how important it is in lives. And so if we could, I'm going to show a very quick little video.
That's a hard question.
A world without teachers. What would the world be like without teachers?
Chaos.
Sad. Because I won't learn anything.
The younger generation wouldn't have anyone to look up to learn from.
Walk around ignorant.
Everybody would be going cuckoo and we wouldn't know anything.
I think that is the scariest thought that anyone could ever have.
I think it will be craziness just because I feel like teachers are, besides our parents, the first people we meet who like shape who we become.
I haven't always been like the best student throughout my whole life.
I was always in trouble.
I had suffered 3 Fs, and I realized like, oh, whoa, I need to fix that, you know?
4th grade was over. I'm here 5th grade. We graduate 6th grade. Hey, Miss Gonzalez, how you doing? And then she's like, oh yeah, I heard these are your grades. What's going on in that science class? Like, she was like totally just keeping up, and I just felt like, whoa, like something's different about that.
Gave me the time of day. Mostly, it was very it was very engaged in stuff that I was doing. Even though I was in detention, I was still learning.
And she was the one teacher who really saw a lot in me to make me feel like I wasn't the kid that other teachers were saying.
And there was a point where I said, okay, I'm going to fail my French class because I haven't been there, so I haven't done any homework. I'm just going to drop out before I fail. And then she specifically came to me and said, no, I'm going to work out a deal with you so that if you stay, you won't fail.
If we didn't do good at school, she would chew you out, but she would always give you a chance to make it up. You know what I mean? She would never put you low standard and just leave you there. You know, and that's one thing I like about teachers. You know, they won't leave you behind.
You know, and when I got accepted into colleges, the first thing I thought is like, I better go. And I better go and tell her. I'm gonna be like, guess what? I got into Penn State, I got into UC, I got into all these colleges.
Actually inspired me to pursue political science.
She's basically the one that taught me to just keep trying.
I can accomplish more than I probably think I can. I felt it, like she didn't have to do that, but it made the difference.
You see, I'm getting emotional, because like, she's great, you know? Give me a minute.
You just exhibited like such a raw passion for teaching. It made me want to teach. Like, I want to do that for people. Like, that's a beautiful thing. So yeah.
So in that movie, it talks about the power of a teacher to change a life, to inspire us, that it's a beautiful thing, that it can make someone believe that they can be something that they might not have. And it really talks about the connections and the power that teachers have in connecting with our students to make a difference. And so one of those teachers is with us tonight. And with that, I'd like to call up our Los Alamitos Unified School District Teacher of the Year, Mrs. Nicole Walters. And so, Nicole, if you have your family, you can introduce them a little bit later, but have them come on up and join you. Come on up. Your boys and your husband, come on up. Or what do they say on this show? Come on down. All right. So in Los Alamitos, we believe it's a family. So in true Los Al fashion, we want to also have your family here. We know it takes a family effort here. So Nicole Walters, let's say a little bit about her. As many of you know, she is really something special. We have some amazing teachers, and so for you to be selected as the one teacher in all of our district really speaks volumes. And so she came to us in 2007. She was a long-term substitute and then hired in 2007 to be a teacher. She was a Coatson Fellow. She's been trained in all of our signature practices. She's been a presenter at Q Conference and other things. She's a lifelong learner. She's an amazing colleague. I heard from many of you such nice things about how just a wonderful colleague she is and collaborating with, to someone to collaborate with. She was the Seal Beach Teacher of the Year in 2010. She has a master's from Long Beach, where she also met her husband, Mike. I think they were also working at Rusty Pelican, right? Or something, yeah. Something like that. And so when she is not working, she likes time with her family, shopping, going to the beach, and watching her two amazing boys play football. And that's just really the tip of the iceberg. When I think about Nicole, what I really think about is someone who brings joy to work. She loves her job. She loves her students and her families. Her classroom, when I walk in there, it is safe, it is nurturing, it is rigorous, it is kind, that I'm literally in the back and I would like to be in school over again, sort of. Not completely, but just maybe a little bit. But she really is just an extraordinary teacher, someone that just lights up a classroom, and we couldn't be prouder. And I know that everyone wishes they could talk about her, and we can't, or we might be here till tomorrow. But Nicole, this is really an honor and just such a special moment for me. And I know on a personal level, she has made me a better person in every way, and really took the time to have a lot of conversations with me. And she probably doesn't know that, but it really made a difference in me as a leader and a superintendent as well. So thank you for that. And now I'm going to turn it over to our board president, Mrs. Diana Hill.
Well, first of all, I think the testament is that when you walked up here, your student came out and just gave you this incredible hug. Yeah. And that's really what it's all about. And it's about these lives that you touch, have touched, hopefully will continue to touch with us, and how that just has an incredible ripple effect. And so thank you very much. We are so honored to have you be our Teacher of the Year, and you look way too young to have sons that old. So thank you very much, and why don't you come up and say a few words and introduce your family.
Thank you, President Hill, esteemed board members, Dr. Kropp and Cabinet, and then all our LAE families, my students. This is my husband, Mike Walters, my mom, Robin, my son, Dylan, my son, Mikey, and my dad, Rick. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. This recognition means so much to me. I do what I do because I love what I do. More importantly, I love where I do it in Los Al, and I love who I do it with. Sorry.
That's good.
It's okay. I think that I work in the most amazing district with the most amazing people, the families, my current students, my former students, my students who are here who are about to graduate from the high school this year. I do what I do because of all of you. I love you all. I love my families. I love who I work with. This means the world to me, so thank you very much.
And her principal, Mr. Willems, if you'd like to say a few words.
I actually wrote a speech because much like Nicole kind of cried right now. That's how I was when I told her and she found out that she was the teacher of the year. And she stood there stone-faced like, I won an award, and I'm like, so it's good. Roles have been reversed. I think it really summarizes when a group of students were walking up today and they said, wait, Miss Walters is the teacher of the year for every school? Out of all the teachers, she's teacher of the year? And I just said yes. And I think that's what summarizes Nicole best. If you, out of the most amazing employees I've ever seen in my life, out of any school district, can be named teacher of the year, you have to be phenomenal. And you're phenomenal because you hold your students accountable. You love all your students, and your families leave knowing that they had a champion in first grade when you taught first grade, or now in second grade. Everybody feels like you have supported them, and everybody knows how hard you have worked to move their students forward and give their students the best chance at the next grade level. You're amazing.
And we have a small token of our appreciation and a beautiful plaque. I hope you find a great place to put it. If I remember correctly, oh, this is very awkward. So if I remember correctly, we are at recess, and so anybody who either was presented with something or part of staff or the students, please stay. We love to take pictures, and when we're all done, and your parents say you can, there are cookies out in the lobby. There's Karen.
Several of you. Andreas.
So, Mr. Vlasic, before I bring the meeting back into order, your son was amazing and adorable.
Yes.
That was awesome.
Yeah, tell him he did a great
I
job.
hope you're taking it for ice cream.
No cookies. All right, we'll go ahead and come back in from recess. I didn't have the opportunity to introduce special guests, but we have Kathy Kent here from ROP. Thank you very much for being here this evening. Next would be our community and staff participation, and we have no cards, so we're going to continue to move through our agenda. Tonight we do not have any presentations or information, so we have the opportunity to go straight into our consent calendar. Do I have any polls on our consent calendar?
I'll move approval of consent items A through W.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Our consent items are items that are routine in nature, and so we accept them all at one time unless there's something we need to discuss. Next, we're going to move into action items. We do have several action items, and the first action item that we have is the California School Boards Association Delegate Assembly election, and I'm going to ask Mrs. Gattulli to speak to this.
Okay, thank you so much. As our board is aware, our delegate assembly of CSBA is like our representative group of school board members throughout our entire region. We're Region 15 and we're all of Orange County. We now on the ballot have a possibility of voting for up to 9 people. I can tell you that all of the people who are the incumbents, which are shown by an asterisk, do attend the meetings and they participate, and they're good delegates. And I can say that I do know personally some of the people who are running who are not incumbent. In fact, one is physically really close to us, and he, because of his benefit of being starting with a B, Mr. Boyer's the first on the on our ballot here in which to choose. We vote as a board, which means that we can vote up to 9 times, but just each as an entity together. And so we can vote for one person and bullet it, or we can discuss if you guys have any more questions about anything else. So that's my background on delegate assembly. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, I would like to make a motion that we vote only for Mr. Boyer.
Do I have a second?
I second it.
Great. Any discussion?
Yeah, I would like to discuss. As you, well, no, people can't see on the agenda here that we only have one person that on this slate that would be from this district. And so I think it would just give him a better chance if we just vote for the one person. So that's my motion.
I'm, as director of Region 15, I'm not on the ballot. And I want to say that I really think that it would be nice for us to have a representative other than myself on there. Because of the fact that we are a unified district, we're one of the smaller ones in the county, and I really truly believe in diversity within our county. And so I think that if we had another member on there in this particular aspect, that I think it was good for our region.
Awesome. Any other discussion?
I think he'd be a great candidate. I think he'll do a great job. Yeah. It's not hard.
I would really appreciate that. Yeah. I really appreciate that.
All right. We have a motion. We have a second that we vote for David Boyer. All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? Passes 5-0. David Boyer. Thank you very much, Mr. Boyer, for throwing your hat in the ring.
I hope it works out.
With just one.
Yeah, Tina does it.
Thank you very much. Okay, our next action item is approval of a new job classification and new job description for the Child Development Program Technician, Dr. Pulver.
Thank you, Madam President, esteemed members of the board. What some people may not know, while we are a unified district, we have a very amazing, high-quality preschool program that is parent-paid. And so we did have a recent retirement within that department, and we have a new job description that will allow this individual who's going to provide excellent customer service to parents who want to know about our preschool program, enroll, but also needs the licensing requirement who can also pitch in and sub in the classroom with a lead certificate if we need as well. So we are recommending the approval of this job classification.
And I assume that this classification has also gone through the Personnel Commission?
It has. It was approved at the February Personnel Commission
Wonderful.
meeting.
Do I have a motion?
Also move.
A second?
Second.
Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 5-0. We're going to move on. Dr. Pulver, don't go very far. We're going to move on to our next item, which is the public disclosure salary settlement and tentative agreement between, and you can finish it. Thank you very much.
You got it. So as you know, I think really one of the powers that we have is the strong relationships with our employee associations, and we entered into a 2-year agreement. And one of the ways to give confidence to our employees with that 2-year agreement was to have some language that if we received more money than we anticipated at the time of the agreement, we'd come back to the table and talk. And we did. We came back to the table and talked with our associations, and it resulted in an additional 0.5% of salary increase for all of our employee groups that are represented by the Association of LAEA and CSEA.
Wonderful. Very happy for our employees. Do I have a motion that we approve action item 11C?
Also move.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 5-0. The next item we're going to move on to is 11D, and this is consideration of approval of a revised salary schedule for administrators. Dr. Kropp.
So we have many, all of our employees are wonderful, and some of our wonderful employees are also not in either of the bargaining units, and so we are recommending or asking the board to consider the same 0.5% for administrators, confidential employees, supervisory, counselors, psychologists, facilities maintenance, operation transportation managers, and supervisors in all of our other fields, such as CDC and preschool, and Kids Corner for the 2018-19 school year.
Thank you very much. And I do believe that as it relates to administrators, we do have something else to read as it goes along with this action item.
Yeah, we have a legal requirement for reporting out. The administrative salary schedule includes assistant superintendents, directors, coordinators, principals, and assistant principals. Recently, the district concluded negotiations with the classified and certificated bargaining units, resulting in a 0.5% salary schedule increase applied retroactively to July 1st, 2018. As we have done from time to time in prior years, the board intends to apply the same retroactive 0.5% increase to the current administrative salary schedule. 2 assistant superintendents, Dr. Pulver and Dr. Nyen, are at step 5. The assistant superintendent step 5 salary will increase to $220,949 under this recommended salary schedule. Assistant Superintendent Mrs. Reed is at step 4. The Assistant Superintendent step 4 salary will increase to $202,665 under this recommended salary increase. The amended administrative salary schedule is available for public inspection. Therefore, I would like to move that we apply a 0.5% increase to the administrative salary schedule, retroactive to July 1st, 2018.
I'll second. Any discussion?
I just like one point. Both unions, LAE and CSEA, both are in favor of this, right? They supported this move. I think that's important to know, that full support of teachers and staff.
And it is all of our employees. We're not carving anyone out.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you very much. And now we're going to move forward, and we're going to move forward with the consideration and approval of the amendment to the superintendent's contract. This approval of superintendent's contract, I will have Mrs. Gattuli read out the legal reporting necessary, but I do want to say it is in alignment with all of our other employees that have received the 0.5 raise. Mrs. Gattuli.
The superintendent's compensation is not included on the administrative salary schedule, but is established by contract. As we have done from time to time in prior years, the board intends to amend the superintendent's contract to apply the same 0.5% increase received by the bargaining units and administratives, retroactive to July 1st, 2018. The superintendent's annual salary will increase to $292,685 effective July 1st, 2018. No other changes were made to the superintendent's compensation. The addendum to the contract is available for public inspection. Therefore, I move to approve the addendum to the superintendent's employment contract applying the 0.5% increase in annual salary retroactive to July 1st, 2018.
Thank you, Mrs. Gattuli. And I will second the motion. All those in, any discussion?
Excuse me.
Yes.
What did you say the percentage was? I misheard it.
0.5, it's a 0.5%. 0.5%.
Okay.
Did I not say point emphatically enough?
I maybe may have misheard it. Okay.
I did. Okay, yeah, it is point. That's a big difference. Yeah, it is a 1/2 of 1%. Everyone gets 1/2 of 1%.
That's great clarification. Thank you, Mrs. Russell.
Good, excellent clarification.
So all of those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 5-0. The next item that we're going to move on to is approval of our warrants. And once again, our warrants are the checkbook of the district. All warrants are available through our agenda for anybody to be able to see. We all review all the warrants, and if we have questions about specific warrants, specific bills, we send those in and we get answers on them. So I would like a motion to approve the warrants.
I move approval as presented.
Second.
It's moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Passes 5-0. The next item that we have on is the acceptance of donations. And we are always very, very appreciative of our very generous community. As we heard even this evening, LAE had some wonderful donations that their PTA and Friends of Group fundraise for the benefit of them. And these donations, as we see, they're not, and I mentioned that because not even all of the donations to our district show up on the donations that we approve or accept. We don't approve them, we accept them, really. So all of those, can I get a motion to accept the donations?
So move.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? 5-0. We are now going to move on to the classified personnel report, and we will combine it with the certificated personnel report. Dr. Pulver.
Thank you, Madam President. Esteemed members of the board, the personnel reports represent the actions since our last board meeting. You will start to see some of our retirements that are already being announced for the end of the school year are starting to show up on our personnel reports. So
It's a sad time of
it
year.
is. For them, I'm sure it's joyful.
Yeah.
But it's certainly sad for us.
Thank you very much, Dr. Pulver. Do I have a motion?
Move approval.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 0. Passes 5-0. We will now start with communication. And Mrs. Russell.
First off, went to the PTA Founders Day luncheon, and we were having nice discussions about the 1 week off everybody was going to be getting, and listening to all the different trips that some of the families were going to be taking. And I found it very interesting. One woman, they were going to see, I don't know, they were going everywhere. It seemed like a whole bunch of western states, and I'm thinking, I think you're going to get some snow.
Yeah.
And their goal for their family is to get them to see all 50 states. I said, come on, I'm the age I'm, I've only been to 46. So, just having those conversations was fun. Then I had myself a meeting on Wednesday the 20th, and one of the things they were discussing was the fact that some districts didn't record right our adult transition kids, and so they have to do some other add-on to their adult transition program and everything. So we're going to have to be watching that more carefully. Read Across America is I'm going to be putting together for Lions for this Friday for McGaw. And we have quite a few readers going, and their schedule is totally full. They have firefighters, people from the military. I'm bringing the Lions, and that's really fun. And then I also want to honor the teacher. I did mention that some of the April 10th is going to be at the Marina Center. And as you probably know, we have one teacher of the year for every school, and then we honor our administrator of the year as well. So hope you all can come. And it's usually a really, really nice evening. And that's all I have to say.
Thank you, Mrs. Russell. Thank you, Mrs. Russell. Mr. Boyer.
I enjoyed attending the PTA Founders Luncheon. That was a nice event, and a little slow with service, but other than that, it was a chance to visit a little bit more. So, I can miss a meal. And the show choir was really fun. I'm always amazed at every show, and just incredible as our show choir goes into the season now of competing. And so I attended Thursday night, and it just was delightful. And then turned around and went back Friday morning for the mentor breakfast, which is a wonderful event, and I've just enjoyed going to the mentor breakfast. I've been going to the mentor breakfast, I was thinking, for quite some time now. But it's always fun, and we hold it in the gym, and it's just a great event. And if you're out there and you're listening, you think, the mentor breakfast, I'd like to do that. We were always looking for mentors to come and sit with students. And I had 7 or 8 students. It's hard to talk about what you do to 8 students in a short period of time, but it's always amazing to see the quality of the students that are there, the questions, and the things that you get to share. And so that was a really great event. There's a chamber breakfast coming up this Friday. And then next week, if you haven't seen our drama department at the high school lately and seen a production, Bye Bye Birdie is going to be I saw there's number of shows about a week from Thursday, I think. So if you look on our website, you'll find them, get some tickets. But if you're looking for a night out, go for a matinee, check that out. And then if you have not been to our all-district band and orchestra, that's happening Saturday. And I think we still have tickets. And I think where are we holding that?
Is that the gym? 1 o'clock is band, and
5
o'clock is orchestra.
1 o'clock is, and 5 o'clock door. So that's, again, another great event if you haven't heard, and we go from K all the way up through the high school, and it's just a really great event. So, thank you.
Mrs. Davidson.
Okay, well, I think I thought as a parent and former teacher in the district that I had seen and done everything and been deeply engaged. As a board member, I found out I did not have a clue half the things that are going on in the district. It's been really exciting the last 2 weeks. I went to the King and Queen of Hearts Gala. It was amazing to see all the dedication and commitment of Carrie Lowe and the whole LAIF team putting that together, and I applaud those couples who put themselves out there. I know Meg's done that before. Yeah, so a lot of them up here. And it was a wonderful event, and they raised so much money for our schools and for our students. I love that. I got to celebrate the Chinese New Year at Lee Elementary and loved all of the kids in their dragon costumes. They had so much fun, and it was such a celebration of culture. I was able to go the morning that you surprised Nicole with the Teacher of the Year award. And I think what got me the most was looking around the room at the faces of the other teachers when her name was announced, because there was so much joy and celebration of her being chosen. And I think that's just says so much about the district. We're so collaborative. We care so much about each other, and we celebrate good news like that as if it's happening to all of us. And I went, and I know Diana did this too, to the MUN conference. It's truly astounding to see these students coming from all over Southern California, and they research their positions. They represent a country on a world issue, and they do research and plan out their positioning for months in advance. It's not a class. They're not necessarily getting credit. I think some schools may offer credit. They do this because they care about the whole process and the learning and being engaged in issues in the world. And I walked away feeling so proud of those kids, so proud of Maria Kiptia. I have a hard time saying her name, and I've known her for 2 years, but I didn't do well in languages. But and all that they accomplished that day, and it made me feel very hopeful about the world, because there was such strong leadership and commitment and voice in those rooms. I also joined the PTA Founders Luncheon and was very impressed by the stories I heard from various members of PTA about what's happening on the campuses. I applaud these parents who do so much for our kids. A highlight for me was girls soccer. My little niece is on the team, and I got to see them get all the way to finals, and they lost to J. Sarah. It's number 1 in the nation. We're number 3. But the girls fought so hard, and these girls represent something to me that I truly value, and that's there are no stars. There are excellent players. There are girls on that team that are sophomores that have already committed to Division I schools, but no one considers herself to be a star. They advocate for each other. They cheer for each other. They cry for each other. So tonight they're now in state competition, a different group, and they won, and they'll move on Thursday to play whoever was not eliminated in the between the other schools. And then I went to Oak this morning and got to walk around and see math and science being done in a way that I would celebrate. I was a language arts teacher and a history teacher, but the science and the math, the way that they're approaching it, kids are smiling, they're laughing, they're ah-haing, and no, you're wrong. I think I'm right. Well, show me, prove it. And so the energy in the room in science and in math is something that I've never witnessed before. And so I really attribute that to the staff development that you're doing. Andrea's not here. I know that so much is going on, and I really applaud her and the district for what you guys are doing to advance math and science in this world. And then finally, I have to say thank you to Andrew, Nancy, and Andrea, who have spent hours with me over the last month teaching me about their departments and their jobs. I really appreciate the sacrifice of your time. And I know I still have a million questions, but thank you so much.
Mrs. Catulli.
Okay. I also, by the time, the 4th and 5th one, guys, it's ditto. I was able to attend the choir show, which is outstanding as always, and it is so enjoyable. And it's such a celebration of talent on the student parts and talent on our staff parts. So it's just great. The PTA Council Founders Luncheon was really nice. It's nice to get together with the administrators and parent leaders in our community and just have a social event and get to know one another, and it was really enjoyable. I attended the California School Boards Association Board of Directors meeting about a month ago, and CSBA is really gearing up. They want to put, this is so ambitious that I talk about it, I can't believe that we're actually trying to do it, because CSBA really doesn't have a lot of money. And what they're going to want to do is that they want to put an amendment on the ballot in 2020 for full and fair funding for the state of California. We are ranked 41st in the nation on a per pupil spending. We have the 5th largest economy in the world. And so they want to put this forward, but they have to collect ballot signatures and all this kind of stuff, and that costs big money. And so they're looking for millions of dollars to do this. And they have a plan and they're working on it. So it will be really exciting, and they're coming up with the idea of commercial taxation on properties to pay for it, because you can't just say we want to increase the funding for education. And yeah, that's a great idea, but how are you going to actually be able to do this without, causing chaos. So it's very ambitious, and I listened to it, and I'm impressed with the thoughtful process they're going through. I was able to go to last night with Diana Hill, our president, to the Seal Beach City Council. Ellery Deaton, who is the council representative from District 1 in Seal Beach, has turned out after 8 years, and she's always been a great supporter of our schools, and we had a certificate of appreciation for her, and Mrs. Hill spoke and thanked her for her time and efforts and everything, and I thought it was really nice. I also, this morning, I was able to walk through the math departments in the high school with Dr. Pulver. It was very, very interesting and informative, and my little private brag was, except for AP Calculus, I pretty much could learn what the teacher was teaching the students. Not that I knew it when I walked in, but when they were explaining it, I could follow it. AP Calculus, it was just like, no. I couldn't do it. It's been a few years, and I never took calculus. Anyway, so that's it.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mrs. Catulli. So one of the things that we do and why we share in communication what we do and where we are in the district is that because that's a big part of our job and our responsibility is to really be out there and to be supportive of our staffs and our students and our families. And doing that means showing up and seeing what they're doing firsthand. It's wonderful. Mr. Boyer and I were talking about how it's so wonderful to celebrate our schools when they come here, but it really adds to being able to go out and be on their campuses and see what our students are doing. I also had the opportunity to be at the LAIF event. I do believe that they raised upwards of $220,000, and that 214, and that money will go directly to help with our STEAM programs and our STEAM fair. And if you haven't had a chance to do that, I believe in April, it is amazing, and the opportunities that it's given our students is just makes, as Mrs. Davidson says, makes you very hopeful for the future. So I am very, very grateful to all of those who threw their hat in the ring, and it was really a very lovely evening. I did get a chance to attend part of the girls' soccer down at Newport Harbor. And I have bad memories of that field, but I went for our girls. So, but they are really an amazing group of students, and I very much enjoyed that, and all the parents sitting out there in very, very, very cold weather. MUN really was amazing. And one of the things that I really took away from it, once again, like Mrs. Davidson, is the hope for future and the care that these students have about their different issues, and that with MUN, they don't get to argue, and this is what I love, they don't get to argue something they're necessarily passionate about. They're given a topic and they have to research it, and then they have to come back and be able to really give an argument on that topic, whether they agree with it or not, which I think is something that's extremely healthy for all of us to learn how to do. But they also, our school, since they were the host, our school ran all the meetings. So it also teaches our students how to run a meeting. And that's an incredible skill set that they don't even realize how much they're going to be able to use in the future. Agenda planning with Dr. Kropp, there's a lot going on, and it was very kind of her and Tina to come in. It was during the week off, but we got the agenda planned so that we can move forward with our meeting. Had the opportunity to welcome our new vice principal, Megan Avalos, to LAE, and also got a chance to see our students. It was a breakfast, and got our chance to see our students actually having breakfast, and they're sitting there playing, and I shouldn't say playing, that's not correct, but they're working on Gigi, which is one of our programs. But to them, it is playing on the iPad, but it's learning, and they're really engaged, and they're just wonderful when you ask them what they're doing and where what level they're at, and so that was wonderful. And yes, last evening, a little bittersweet to say goodbye to Councilwoman Deaton. She has been very, very supportive of us, our district, of me personally, and she had all of her family there last night, and that just really made my heart sing. And so with that, I believe that unless anybody else has anything, I believe that I'll look for a motion to close the meeting. We do not need to go back in closed session. All those in favor? Aye. Thank you very much.